Welcome everyone to tonight's special meeting of Council. My name is Philip Storer. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the City of Boroondara. In accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act 2020, the Act requires that I actually chair the meeting until such time as a Mayor has been elected, at which point the Mayor will assume the chair and I will move away. I'd like to begin the meeting by reading the Council prayer and would appreciate it if you could please be upstanding for that. Almighty God, we humbly seek your blessings upon this Council. Direct and prosper its deliberations to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of the City of Boroondara. Amen. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land as the original custodians of this land, including the Wurundjeri people in the northern part of the city, and also pay my respects to their elders past and present and the elders from other communities who may be here today. The purpose of this meeting, this special meeting of Council, is to elect for the 2021 year the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and Chairpersons of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee and the Services Delegated Committee. Also, we'll be making appointments to the Urban Planning and Services Delegated Committees and the Audit and Risk Committees. Given the recent changes to COVID-19 restrictions, councillors are able to be present for the meeting this evening. Unlike previous years, due to COVID-19, we're not able to be joined tonight by family and friends and the members of the community who might otherwise wish to be here. The meeting's being live streamed so that the community can in fact observe the proceedings this evening. I'd like to begin by introducing the councillors, and I'm going to go through the councillors in ward order. All councillors are present this evening. I'd like to introduce Councillor Jim Park, Councillor Felicity Sinfield, Councillor Victor Franco, Councillor Wes Galt, Councillor Di Gillies, Councillor Lisa Hollingsworth, Councillor Jane Addis, Councillor Cynthia Watson, Councillor Susan Biggar, Councillor Gary Thompson and Councillor Nick Stavro. I'd also like to acknowledge there are officers here this evening and introduce Bruce Dobson, Director Customer Transformation, Sharon Wickramasinghe, Director Urban Living, Daniel Freer, Director Places and Spaces, Carolyn McLean, Director Community Support, David Thompson, our Manager Governance and Legal. There are also a number of other staff here this evening to help us with our proceedings. If I could move to item 1 on the agenda, apologies. Mr Thompson, are there any apologies for this evening?
Through you, Mr Chief Executive Officer, there are no apologies for this evening.
Thank you. I'd move now to item 2, which is declaration of conflict of interest of any councillor or council officer. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest? There being none, I will move on to item 3, which is the election of the Mayor for the 2020-21 year. Councillors, could I please have a nomination for the position of the Mayor of the City of Boroondara for this year? Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Mr Storer. I'd like to move that Councillor Thompson be nominated and elected as the Mayor of the City of Boroondara for 2020-21.
Thank you. Is there a seconder?
I second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Gillies. Councillor Thompson, are you happy to accept the nomination?
I accept the nomination.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? There being no other nominations, I declare Councillor Thompson the Mayor for this current year and congratulate and welcome you. Well done. And can I please ask that Councillor Watson come forward and place the mayoral chains on Councillor Thompson prior to him taking up the chair. Thank you.
Well, thank you, councillors, for your utmost support, and I look forward to a very successful year ahead for all of us. We'll move on to the next item. The election, item 4, the election of Deputy Mayor for 2020-2021. Councillors, can I have a nomination for the position of Deputy Mayor of the City of Boroondara? Councillor Addis.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that Councillor Watson be elected Deputy Mayor of the City of Boroondara for the 2020-2021 year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Addis. And do I have a seconder?
I second the nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Biggar. Councillor Watson, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Are there any further nominations? There appears to be none. I declare that Councillor Watson is elected Deputy Mayor for the City of Boroondara for 2020-2021. Congratulations. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, the election of chairpersons of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee and the Services Delegated Committee for 2020-2021. The Urban Planning Delegated Committee Chair. Councillors, could I have a nomination for the chairperson of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee? Councillor Sinfield.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to move that Councillor Park be appointed Chairperson of Urban Planning Delegated Committee.
Thank you, Councillor. And seconded, Councillor Galt.
I second that nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Galt. Councillor Park, do you accept that nomination?
I do, Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? There being none, I declare that Councillor Park is nominated as Chair of the Urban Planning Special Delegated Committee. I beg your pardon. You are appointed as Chair of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee. Congratulations, Councillor Park. We'll move on to the Services Delegated Committee Chair. Councillors, can I have a nomination for the Chairperson of the Services Delegated Committee? Councillor Stavrou.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that Councillor Addis be appointed Chairperson of the Services Delegated Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Stavrou. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Franco.
I second the nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Franco. And Councillor Addis, do you accept that nomination?
I do, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? There being no further nominations, I declare Councillor Addis appointed as Chairperson of the Services Delegated Committee. Congratulations, Councillor. We'll move on to item 6, appointments of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee for 2021. I think this is bear with me, councillors. Yes. The next on the item is the appointment of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee for 2020-2021. Councillors, could I have a nomination for the membership of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee? Councillor Park.
Thank you, Mayor. That is traditionally a committee of the whole, so I move that Councillors Park, Sinfield, Franco, Galt, Gillies, Hollingsworth, Addis, Watson, Biggar, Thompson and Stavrou be appointed as members of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Park. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Gillies.
I second that nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Gillies. Do you each accept your nomination, councillors? Thank you. I declare that Councillor Jim Park, Councillor Felicity Sinfield, Councillor Victor Franco, Councillor Wes Galt, Councillor Di Gillies, Councillor Lisa Hollingsworth, Councillor Jane Addis, Councillor Cynthia Watson, Councillor Susan Biggar, Councillor Nick Stavrou and myself as members of the Urban Planning Delegated Committee. Item 7, appointments to the Services Delegated Committee for 2020-2021. The next on the agenda is the appointments to the Services Delegated Committee for 2020-2021. Councillors, could I have a nomination for the membership of the Services Delegated Committee? Councillor Biggar.
Yes, Mayor, that is also normally all members. So could I nominate that Councillors Park, Sinfield, Franco, Galt, Gillies, Hollingsworth, Addis, Watson, Biggar, Thompson and Stavrou all be appointed as members of the Services Delegated Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Biggar. And seconded, Councillor Galt.
Mr Mayor, I second that nomination.
Thank you, Councillor Galt. Councillors, I accept my nomination. Do you all accept your nominations? Thank you. There being no further nominations, I declare that Councillor Park, Councillor Sinfield, Councillor Franco, Councillor Galt, Councillor Gillies, Councillor Hollingsworth, Councillor Addis, Councillor Watson, Councillor Biggar, Councillor Stavrou and myself as members of the Services Delegated Committee. Move on to item 8 of the agenda, appointments to the Audit and Risk Committee for 2020-2021. Councillors, could I have a nomination for the membership of the Audit and Risk Committee? Councillor Hollingsworth.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I move that the councillors Franco and Stavrou be appointed as members of the Audit and Risk Committee.
Thank you, and I have a seconder.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Delighted to second.
Thank you, Councillor Sinfield. Councillors Franco and Stavrou, do you each accept your nomination?
I accept the nomination.
I also accept the nomination.
Thank you, councillors. Are there any further nominations? There appears to be no further nominations. I declare Councillors Franco and Stavrou members of the Audit and Risk Committee. Congratulations. That brings us to the end of the agenda for this evening. I congratulate the councillors on being elected and appointed to the positions for the year 2020-2021. Thank you to the community, family and friends for watching these important proceedings this evening via Council's website. I wish you all well, and I meeting of Council closed. Goodbye for now. Thank you.